And it's going to be important now for Rival to figure out what went wrong. And I think that Giannis is going to be the point of contention here. It was first pick from Dignitas in the last game. Rival now electing first pick for themselves.
We'll see if that one turns around. Still paying attention to QvoFred in the ban phase, saying goodbye to the Dodgy. Well, Dignitas understand that Rival are in the position to go ahead and select first, so no Giannis. Again, the Circuit ban, keeping an eye on that QvoFred. The Ra ban, however, Wlfy has really stepped it up, so much so to earn the respect ban. Look at that.
That's very true. Ra is just annoying because of how much range he has also in his abilities. Not just the Searing Pain, but that Celestial Beam. And if you can even watch some of the content that Rival create, it's off of the perspective from Wlfy's Ra.
Yeah, that Ra has been really fantastic. Even in our pregame video that we showed, it was Wlfy that was showing up in Season 5 on the Ra, so got to watch out for that one. Nemesis first pick overall, option over to Dignitas, and they're going to go ahead and select Sobek in tandem with a new Wlfy. This character was really popular for the first couple of weeks in the Pro League, and recently, this week, last week, has kind of tapered off a little bit.
I mean, every god is going to be able to go in and out of the season. It's almost like fashion of like, what kind of god do you want to wear today? But Chulainn will be the response for Sobek. Variety has been known to play aggressive, but with the rise of Sobek's, it's very difficult to be aggressive against a Sobek. So instead, he's like, all right, you play aggressive versus me.
Now, the Isis, this is a character we've seen more of, specifically on Wlfy. He's played this goddess a lot, and I love it. I think that she brings a lot to the table, and it's interesting where this character sort of landed. Earlier on, she was noted for her early game prowess, being able to wing gust the wave down before everybody else could. Other gods have sort of caught up in that early game, but what she's really powerful is when she's able to max out the wing gust and spirit ball, and around that mid game, she is a monster, Anatoly.
It's all about the objective control. That's something that Isis really provides, and Rival really like their objectives. Yes. They actually attempted to do that first Gold Fury very early on in the game. They got punished for it the first time. That didn't deter them from going in for the second time, still going for it, and that time securing it without the Isis in game 1.
And now they have the Circle of Protection, so that should be even more fruitful. Dignitas going to ban out the Athena and the Artemis. If you haven't been paying attention, the Artemis ban might catch you by surprise, but Rival have really leaned on those late-game hunters. We've seen Cyclone come out, play the Shibalanke. The Artemis has been very popular here. The Ram selected for Dignitas. Basically, people have realized that hunters aren't bringing the same punch that they used to, so bringing the absolute latest of game hunters has been really powerful.
Even the Medusa last pick for vote when the last game was interesting. It's not his traditional style because he didn't go blink at level 1, but it's still that late game power that you really want with your steroid, just getting 3 quick rapid shots.
Ares will be the last choice here for Team Rival. That'll likely be the Guardian. In fact, I'm almost positive Rival have drafted a nice and easy to tell composition for what seems like the first time in forever.
I love this combination. I think that the only time that Isis is locked in for Rival is when Callus can get that Ares. You really need to find a balancing act of how to force purification beads. Isis and Ares can do so, and then Nemesis can chase them down after.
And the balancing act that you're talking about as well. Ares brings a lot, but doesn't bring traditional lockdown, and being able to find the long-range stuns or even the closer-range silences that can be the lockdown that you lose by going aggro Ares. Totally, are we seeing 2 games or 3 today?
I think we're going to see 3 games here, Tom.
So Totally thinks Rival's going to take it. Give us your answer in Mixer Chat. But for the game, take us away, boys.
Thanks a lot, Desk. And yeah, we're ready for this game. Going to be interesting. Oh, look at you two. You look so pretty on the camera.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah, that was good.
Can we just go back to that? It's more fun. That's me. That's him.
Okay. Do you want to voice Tom or Tolly? We throw it to them.
I don't know. They're both awkward to try and do.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's easy because all you have to do is talk about New York, and you're good.
Yeah, I can't do the impressions, though. I'm just not so good at it.
No, I'm not really that good at it.
Impressions aren't really my thing, unfortunately. Who do you guys think will win this game? For me, the most interesting point to mention in this one is that Dignitas believe Nemesis is easier to handle than giving them Giannis. That was the big change.
I can't really blame him. Giannis has been so impactful over the last few weeks in the SPL, the minor league, the console series, the global series, or whatever competitive Smite has played, Giannis is winning games for teams. So I think I agree with him. Nemesis has had games where she looks dominant, other games where she kind of falls flat. Giannis almost always delivers.
Well, we'll see how Giannis does it. Well, not Giannis. Nemesis does in this game. Achilles?
You got there.
I was on one for a while there. I'm struggling today. The Camazotz, though, for QvoFred. I'm not a big fan of Kama. I just don't like him.
I'm not a big fan of Cama solo. I think he's great as a jungler.
If
I feel
he goes
like
damage, sure. He
Yeah,
can make a big
exactly,
impact.
exactly. Damage Camazotz, I think, is the best way to go. And like I said, I think that Sobek is the best solo laner right now, and Dignitas picks him right away. As soon as Nemesis gets locked in, even the Sobek right away. And that's always been thought of as kind of a counter matchup for Sobek, is going into Nemesis, because lurking in the waters, you're just kind of a lurking duck
Sure.
for Nemesis and her team once she uses that Divine Judgment. But I agree with Digman. Just prioritize this pick. Variety's done so much for you.
It feels like Dig have really focused around this Nemesis of making sure they can get away from it. The new War, for example, Trixtank on the Fafnir yet again. Rama can take to the sky. And QvoFred on the Camazotz can also jump out. The only one that's going to get focus is Variety, but he'll be tanky anyway, so he may be able to weather that one. If they've invested a lot in the Sobek, which rightfully so might be the call this game.
Yeah, I think so, but it's so difficult because just like with how Rival was focusing everything into Trixtank and then didn't have anything left over for the rest of Dignitas, that the same concern is there with this sort of team composition. Now, Fear No Evil is much more team fight oriented than
Yes.
Nemesis ult. Nemesis ult is designed to pick one person,
Annihilate
say,
them.
I don't like you, you're dead now.
Well,
and QvoFred
they
might
don't
be
like
dead now.
QvoFred, but the beads will give him a little bit of a window to get back towards his tier 2 tower, I should say. He managed to get the speed buff as well, which got him away from the danger with the beads. So pressure out from Rival early on. Only got beads out of the jungle.
Double blink there from Rival, and like you said, these guys are fans of some janky stuff, so you're not surprised to see something weird. I love
what would be
Wlfy
lost?
starting the speed buff though, in order to make sure that that's off the map as early as possible. But
Sure, but they lose red, they lose purple on the left-hand side to Dignitas here in the early stages. Sure, they steal away the blue, but now Boat could be dead.
He is dead. There's no way he's out of this one. No jump. Stuck around a little bit too far. Didn't think that Dignitas was in his side of the jungle. Probably thought they were clearing out their own buffs, or at least they didn't have time to get away there. I like his decision to not use the Aegis. I mean, he knew he was dead to rights right away from that upgraded sprint from Trixtank, but you're right. This is a rough start for Rival, to say the least.
The strategy was an idea from Rival. I'm not against the strategy and the idea behind it, but it failed that time round. And with it failing, it means that Dignitas get a nice early lead in this one. Keep Vo pinned back for now. He'll be able to farm back into it, though, like most teams can these days. Just farm up, play relatively safe. You'll catch up eventually in terms of experience.
Well, whenever it comes to those weird sorts of janky invade
We all get
starts
Blink.
or weird stuff, I mean, the argument is always, okay, this is really good when it works, but what's worst case scenario? Where is, you have to balance out that risk reward factor. And honestly, if Vote doesn't die on the left-hand side, it's bad, but it's not super
It's not
bad,
as bad,
for
yeah.
Rival. Losing Vote, though, for First Blood, it really makes this start much worse for Rival, for sure.
Wlfy as well. I do like his decision here to go for the Aegis early on and not the beads. He's not going to be taking too much CC overall. As long as he can avoid the old hammer from Trixtank, he'll be in a relatively safe position until he's level 12, gets his beads too, to make sure Sobek doesn't become a problem.
Zyrhoes forced out by Deathwalker, who already used the transformation. Now Qvo
Collapse from Dig, though.
just gonna hit him. Yeah, this is in Dig's favor.
3 on 2, surrounded his Deathwalker, gonna have to tank up as much as possible. Speed buff goes down.
Rival got it.
Deathwalker and iceicebaby looking to just get out. Sprint has been popped. Blink was used by Ice, but Deathwalker, he wanted more. Wlfy had arrived, and I think that was the reason. They're gonna give the speed to Wlfy yet again.
Variety should have pluck up soon, so Rival not going to engage onto him. That's some confidence, man, to just say, we know it's a 3v2, and we're still gonna take that fight. Really well played by Rival.
While this is going on, though, look at what Dignitas did yet again. Stole away the purple for a second time on rotation and the red buff in tow. So Dignitas doing good work on the left-hand side as Rival still be pressuring the right.
I love watching these two play, man. I tweeted after game one that that's one of those games. Look, there are some of these European games that are a little bit slower, and you're like, man, we gotta find something.
matches.
We gotta find something to talk about. But I feel like I could recast game one and bring up 30 different things that I never even got a chance to bring up or talk about in that first game. These two work so well on not only what their own game plans are, but their adjustments on the fly are something that really impressed me. When you watch the bottom end teams or the minor league teams, when a team comes out with some sort of weird strategy, often it causes the other team to just go, whoa, 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 what's going on? And then they don't know how to respond properly. These guys absolutely do every time. And that's what makes them these top end teams, not only in Europe, but in the world. Rival throws Dignitas for a bit of a loop, and Dig just comes out with the optimal response right away, and that's really impressive.
For those guys watching Vote there on the left-hand side, he's not AFK, don't worry about it. He's freezing the wave because he was behind in this lane. You can see he's only level 4. Freeze the wave before the tower, and the minions will slowly build up if you do it correctly. And allow you to just keep farming safely, forcing Arkkyl and Trixtank to overextend a little bit. And at the same time as that's happening, look at where the Nemesis is, just starting to float to that side of the map.
Well, it's because the buffs are coming up on this left side of the map soon, and Rival identify that in Season 5, losing the first rotation or even the first 2 rotations isn't a death sentence, but you start losing 3, 4 in a row, you're going to be in some real trouble, and I am shocked that iceicebaby's heading towards right side mid-harpies instead of rotating over to the left.
Yeah, this purple's going to be giving up again. It seems they've just abandoned Vote to catch up, but this is putting a deficit now on Callus and Wlfy a little bit, I'd say. Callus still level 4 in this game. Going to rotate for the red, however, though. Bit of a defense setting up. Iceice back on this side. Good look at the left-hand harpies and meet QvoFred. Could get collapsed on as Trix is around the corner. Iceice needs to double dash, will do so. Hammer off the mark, as was the chain. So both supports having a bit of a struggle there, but the good news is Rival secure their own red.
Yeah, they did, I think, but Wlfy didn't pick it up. Maybe
he's scared. He's
yeah,
worried about the engage.
Didn't want to go for it there. No way that Vote is going to be able to go for it. Trix says, even if you got the golden XP, you don't get the buff. You don't get the benefit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No power this time around. Maybe Wlfy can sneak back. He's going to, check, he's going to cut it. Yeah! 30 seconds is a long time.
It is a long time. You get to.
It should be 7.
What?
Should be 7. Just for red.
Isn't it I always feel like it's a really fun moment where I'm like running to it and I see that the timer is like ticking down. I've wasted blink to pick up red buffs before. I
always find that whenever I'm looking for the buff on the ground, it's always facing away from me for some reason. You know where the circle timer goes down? It always seems to be facing away, so I'm looking like...
How big is it? How much longer do I have?
It's already gone, and you're like, no.
I would have blinked for it.
We'll just sprint for it.
Absolutely.
Well, there's an ult from Vote trying to clear the wave out, but Arkkyl and Trixtank go. Aegis used early on, and Transformation used as the new ult. They're going to go all the way in for this one. Nice little play, actually, from the dual lane, using the new ultimate to help with the extra damage needed to pick up the kill.
And Dignitas, again, is staggering their ultimates, staggering their damage around Aegis perfectly. I highlighted Arkkyl doing it during Game 1, and again there, Zyrhoes used the ultimate right as Vote used the Aegis. Not sure if that was communicated or just some good timing, and it's a little bit of luck from Zyrhoes, but either way, Dignitas probably did need to use all 3 ults. I feel like if Trix is ulting, Arkkyl doesn't need to, but just using the Rama ult by itself is a little bit too risky, so I don't mind it.
The ball does connect through the wall. The chains are already fired by Callus. The speed invade is on, but Trix is over here now. Arkkyl on the way too. Speed stolen away by Iceice, and with the extra mobility he's got from his own speed buff, he may be able to get away unless Variety plucks him back into danger.
Spirit Ball just off the mark from Wlfy as well. He had circle protection, and he'll drop it. Kala's going to bring Qvo back potentially, but had the beads.
Variety, though, still going to give chase through the jungle here. The rest of the team, Dignitas, not really in a position to do so. This bought Vote some valuable farming time, considering he died twice already. Will be able to secure some of the buffs in his own jungle. Right-hand side, though, Rival are looking at blue.
Ice very low. Remember, no beads for him. He's got Blink instead. And again, Nemesis Slice and Dice just so good at securing buffs. A big reason why she's so meta right now is because the buff camps are squishy enough that a couple auto attacks and Slice and Dice will confirm it. And there's not much for even Camazotz that can really react to that 400 damage nearly instantly.
And the one issue the Dignitas are going to have this game, I feel like, is the amount of CC they have. It's very lackluster. Going to be relying on clay minions. They're going to need those clay minions to explode at some point to get some stuns out, because outside of Trix's hammer and his transformations, if he doesn't find that hammer, which, to be honest, Trix's hammers aren't always on point. I'm going to be honest. It's not the same level as Callus in terms of those hammer throws. Then all you've got is Variety, because Qvo's not bringing any CC.
Yeah, but man, I'll tell you, I love playing Nuwa during my time as a pro player, and Sobek was probably my favorite pick alongside it, because nothing delivers someone to you on a silver platter better than Sobek does. And you know, even for a long range stun like Ymir freeze, as a Nuwa player, you still have to move up in order to hit the Clay Golem stun on that frozen target. Sobek Pluck will bring a frontliner to you, and if a frontliner is right in front of you, they're probably going to take the majority of their health from that Clay Golem stun with the prot shred that those golems bring. So even though I agree with you, Dignitas' composition is a little CC light, I feel like the Nuwa Sobek comp is so difficult to deal with.
Sure, but then you're factoring in that all that investment of the CC chain you're talking about there is only on one target. Now granted, that's great, but when the rest of the Rival dash in to help out, what have you got left?
I mean, the idea is that you bring back a priority target that it makes rival go, oh, maybe we don't want to fight, even with that investment. And the thing is that Dignitas in that situation, hypothetically, isn't utilizing an ultimate even. You really don't need to. If you pluck back iceicebaby right now, he's dead before he gets to use his shield or his dash or whatever. So you don't really need to. Usually ultimates are the big, okay, they invested a lot, let's go in sign. Sometimes those little abilities aren't enough to really trigger the we have to attack right now sort of response from a team.
With how this game's gone so far, Dignitas, yes, they've managed to get themselves 2 kills, but the goal is actually even between the two. Rival have done a good job of fighting back in terms of experience and in terms of farming the jungle. These invades have paid off.
Deathwalker, though, is going to have to use the sprint because of QvoFred's rotation, and Qvo realizing that he's got no kill potential on a raged out Chulainn once that sprint is popped, so just turns it around. I like Qvo heading over there, though, because Deathwalker, again, has gone for a runic shield. He picked this up in game 1. This early pickup really makes it so that Sobek is doing no damage to him whatsoever. Removes all scaling from his abilities because of a 50 power reduction. Sobek doesn't have 50 power to his name right now, so that means he's not getting any additional scaling, plus the magical protection, plus the health. Deathwalker's got no chance of dying to just variety, but QvoFred can come over and do some serious damage to him at this point in the game. So I like that rotation, but as soon as Deathwalker finishes off, last game it was a Midgardian male in the 3rd item slot, all kill potential goes out the window.
Well, the question is when does Rival start to attempt Gold Furies? And it will be Rival that goes for it first, I expect, with the composition they've got. They have the Suns raining down from Ho Yi to help secure, but not only that, one of the best ultimates for securing the game, the Circle of Protection.
Really, really good, but if Rival's utilizing both of those AoE ultimates, that could be a sign for Dignitas to play aggressive, and they've got an excellent, again, dive composition. No peeling lurking in the waters. You can't peel it. You can't peel Bat Out of Hell. You can't peel Nuwa ult. That seems to be what Dignitas really likes these days, is just unmitigatable damage in a lot of situations.
Well, we've been seeing this for a while, though, but pen boost has been something looked at. Hold that thought. Hammer will be dashed into by Iceice there.
200 IQ.
On Deathwalker at the same time.
Take that. You said Trix doesn't hit all his hammers all the time.
Well, I mean, Iceice wanted to make him feel better about it. That's what it was. It was like, oh, you missed this one as well? No problem. I got it. Here you go.
Nice guy.
Team player, even for the enemy team at certain points in it. But I was going to talk about the boots in the mid lane. Wlfy now 2 games in a row have gone for the Shoes of Focus, not the penetration boots. Now, Shoes of Focus are not bad right now. I think we're starting to see a little bit more investment into them this season, specifically from Wlfy. He's been going for Desolation to allow the penetration to still be there for himself.
Now, I've always been a fan of the penetration boots. I just feel like you lose so much damage by going for the Shoes of Focus, even though it's, 5 power off the boots plus the lack of penetration. Just with how good Gauntlet of Thebes is early on, the tanks that you want to be hitting in the early game before they get really, really tanky already have enough magical protection to where I want pen against them early on, especially once it gets evolved, and then you've got the aura magical protection to worry about. Isis already gets CDR from her passive whenever it finishes off to that 10 stacks on the funeral rites. So I don't know.
Callus in a bit of trouble in the jungle here, surrounded and alone right now. Has to use the chains to try and weather the storm. He'll get all 3 chains, but he'll still fall down. QvoFred credited the kill. And immediately Dignitas looking to turn this around. They've got Fafnir here, trying to burst it quickly before anyone can get here. Wlfy's on the way. Spirit Ball through. Hits on Trixtank. Forces a reset.
iceicebaby on the way as well. Zyrhoes just a little bit too far to assist Dignitas in that Gold Fury pull, but Arkkyl could be pulling it again. No, I think just de-warding behind the Gold Fury herself. That's just the problem with Ares, and always has been and likely always will be, that if you can just get numbers on top of him, there's no way for him to get away from you.
It's one of the hardest things. I think that's the thing for most of the Guardians this year, is dealing with the fact that with the jungle being slightly bigger on the rotations, you're going to be there on your own a little bit more often sometimes and caught in an awkward spot, and that's why you see a lot of the supports kind of standardized with simple ones. You don't see Khepri's and Ymir's too much. Their mobility really hurts them, and their size too.
Man, I want to see Khepri back. I feel like he's pretty good right now.
I think it's his thighs that are causing the biggest issue. Not gonna lie, I've been playing a bit of him.
You're just gonna call my man's out like that for being overweight?
Listen, me and Khepri, we're both in the same boat. It's just the way it's gonna be, and we just gotta own up and admit to those things being a detriment to us.
All right, look, Khepri, if you want to see pro level play, what Hindu Man is saying is just put down the fork, and we'll be good. We'll be able to see you soon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hit the gym, eat a salad every now and then, and we'll see you.
I guess bugs do eat salad, so it's not bad. A scarab, yeah.
Don't Scarabs like? Well, I think of
What do
Scarabs.
Scarabs eat?
I don't really know. Like, well, I was thinking
The
like
bodies of the dead.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That must be it, right?
I mean, I don't think they. I'm thinking of like dung beetles. They just like roll up.
Well, that's poop.
Yeah, I know, but that's not Capri.
Oh.
But Rising Dawn kind of looks like that.
Arkkyl in a bit of trouble here. Gonna ult early to try and get defensive. No relic shoes just yet. Still has beads and ages available. Looking for the snipes. Looking for a rotation. Not going to get one because the angle has been cut off in the jungle. Look at where Ares and Isis were positioned. They were at the red buff going, "You shall not pass."
Love it. Love that team play. That's not even just team play on the actual, whatever the call is. That's Wlfy and Kalas preventing a rotation in, and now it's Rival's turn to try and pull this Gold Fury.
Turn around. Circle protection is available for Isis here. Trixtank the only one around. Nuwa and Camazotz in the way, but very delayed and late. The hammer comes out, and Rival get the Gold Fury. Nothing Dignitas can do about that.
No chance for Dig to jump in and steal that. I like Trix's decision to not jump in and attempt to steal it, because if so, he would have been an easy casualty for Rival, who, despite being down in kills, I mean, that was their first kill so far. Look at the XP charts. It's been consistently in their favor, and almost all of that seems to be on Deathwalker. I don't know the last time Variety got a blue buff.
This is the matchup, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Chulainn early game just brutalizes it. They're going to get the tier 1 tower there to the minions at the same time. Deathwalker just abusing the push power, then invading the jungle. This is how you guess you deal with Sobek.
Exactly, because you're not going to out-team fight Sobek. I don't think there's a soul laner on Earth who does outside of Amaterasu, and even that's close.
Pyromancer is started up by Rival again. Trix taking a lot of damage, but transforms and forces back Rival for a second. Chains come out as Nuwa takes to the sky to return some damage, but Trix is already dead.
Wlfy has to use the Aegis, but QvoFred's rotation in has to use the beads in response to that
Wlfy.
Spirit Ball, but Wlfy going to be able to get out of there.
QvoFred, though, may be in a different story, trying to get away from Deathwalker, who's going to run him down. The level 16 versus the level 11. That's a big old swing, and that's where the detriment is for Dignitas right now in the jungle. There's a 3-level difference.
I love the way that Deathwalker has played this game. He's only 1-0, hasn't been, soloing his opposition or anything like that. But he may as well have been with how far ahead he's earned himself because of these invades.
Invade. That seems to have been the calling card for Rival here. On the right-hand side of the map, they left Boat on his own, and Boat's done a good job of catching back up. Iceice now looking at Arkkyl yet again. Ultimate use, going to force the ultimate out of Arkkyl in response, but where's the reinforcements?
Oh, Arkkyl, no chance. Was that a crit coming through? Yeah, he does have that rage already. Iceice can't quite find it, though. It's because, in part of that crit, but also the rotation in from Dignitas. Wasn't really spotted out by any wards from them, but more just game sense. With Rama using the entire duration, you've got to know that someone's coming to help.
And that's a big thing there with what we mentioned this in Dignitas' draft there. A lot of them can escape this Nemesis, using their ultimate defensively to buy themselves into a window. Nuwa, Rama, and Kama, all three of those are just so good at escaping.
And that's why I love Arkyl's decision making there to not just go straight up into that ultimate, but instead to run away as far as he can before that slow cat lets iceicebaby catch up to him, and then use the ultimate, because now he's in a position that it's much easier for Dignitas team members to rotate in and help him.
It's also because when he's in the air, his rollout may actually come back off cooldown again, so he can roll straight after the dash a little bit earlier than was previously planned. 17 minutes in, though, and Rival have a commanding lead in this game. Done a very good job from the outset, outside of that failed aggressiveness of the speed buff with the blinks, which didn't pay off. They did fight back in well enough to keep this pressure going. Deathwalker showing that, Sobek may be amazing in the solo lane, but he just doesn't bring the pressure.
I just had a great idea, Graham. Imagine this.
Great idea?
Smite Turbo Edition, where everything is just like super broken.
So
What if
everyone has a speed
Ram?
buff?
No. What if Ram had the Discordia loses seconds off his cooldown, went up in the air, and got his rollout back really quickly? That'd be pretty cool. What if Zeus had a stun on his 3?
No.
I think it'd be fun.
Don't think they're a good idea.
Those are the only 2 changes in Smite Turbo Edition. Also, everyone is 5 movement speed faster.
So that makes it terrible because everyone's got an additional 5 movement speed.
Yeah.
We could just shrink the map by 5%.
No, that's less fun.
Ult again from iceicebaby, pressuring onto the Nuwa, who gets chained twice. On landing, Camazotz could be waiting with the no escape, but the Spirit Ball will force the Aegis out of Zyrhoes, and he's already dead before the no escape is forced, and QvoFred has to ult defensively too. Zyrhoes picked up in the jungle.
Man, watching Wlfy play Isis just makes me happy, man. I love the way this guy plays this god. He's always on point, with those Spirit Balls, and it fits what Rival loves to do perfectly, which is those longer engagements, the team fight-oriented engagements, and also play objective-focused.
In goes Deathwalker, teleporting Variety to the front line of this tier 2 to try and prevent some of the damage. He eats a lot of chains there, and eats quite a bit of damage too. Tricks in with the disarm just to slow down Rival and reset, as Ice was cheekily trying to come around the back. Gotta be careful, as 4 members of Dig still relatively healthy.
Everyone from Dig healthy enough. Rivals Deathwalker a little bit low, about half HP. No matter anything like that for him. He does have that ultimate up, as well as the Thorns.
Here we go again. This is Rival trying to abuse the fact that Nuwar's not here. She's the biggest wave clear they've got. Circle of protection down to keep the protections high for the team of Rival as they start to siege this down. Nuwar walking inside that will take a lot more damage than planned, but with Nuwar being back, Dignitas have a chance to defend a lot easier.
Pyromancer down, Gold Fury up at about 12 seconds, and that's the bad news because Rival just invested quite a bit into trying to get that siege to go their way. Rival without Circle of Protection now means that Dignitas has a window to be the aggressors on this Gold Fury instead of on the defense.
But Rival haven't gone back to base. They're just going to take the red, and someone's probably going to check around this corner. It's going to be the Ares that's going to lead them in, but Gold Fury's getting relatively low, relatively quick. Variety in the front line. It's peel time for the Sobek one more time. Dignitas get the gold, but Variety may fall.
That's exactly what you were asking for, is just the Nemo onto Variety every time, and you saw how quickly he fell right there. But Rival, no reason to 4-way split a red buff in that situation. Kalas, Ice, Deathwalker, who was on the other side of the map, so can't really blame him. You gotta have that in your mind that you could start it off.
Cheeky fire. I thought so. I just saw the way they were going over there. I'm like, Pyro's down, boys. Circle protection not up, but a lot of investment from Dig. Now, with that ultimate coming out from Zyrhoes, it'll give the game away, but Arkkyl can't get there in time. He will get a tier 2 time on the left. Will they be able to defend this? It's up to Trix.
Well, Wlfy doesn't have his ultimate quite yet. Now he gets it up and immediately drops it. Trixtank, the only one close, and Rival do get the Fire Giant. Love that call. Ice might even find a kill here.
Well, he wants it, but he's just being respectful of Zyrhoes. He may still go under the tower for this, looking for the lazy back of the Cuvo between the tier 1 tier 2. Checks the corner, sees the positioning, and with the...
Then he gets smacked with some sausages.
I was about to say, with the meat-wielding minions coming around the corner, they're going to be a little bit careful there, so...
That probably scared the crap out of him. You ever have that happen where, like, something scares
There's
you?
There's nothing worse than grown men in lederhosen hitting you with sausages.
Is that a... is that coming from experience?
Not talking about it. Not on air, that's for sure. Ice will steal away the speed. Another time as Pyromancer now going to go down. Rival in control of this game. The gold is only 3,000-4,000, but the way they've been playing it has shown this experience lead. It's monstrous.
Oh, Ice has to use the beads, and it's not going to save his life. Arkkyl is swinging right now. Hit level 17. Blink in from Variety. Not quite enough to steal it away.
Now Dig going to try and siege down the tier 1 tower in mid lane, knowing that most members of Rival were around the Pyro. They're going to tier 1. They're looking for a tier 2. They do have Zyrhoes with the clay minions in tow. And Arkkyl, as you said, is swinging.
Yeah, that tier 2 tower is going to fall very, very quickly. Deathwalker tries to get in there, but Variety immediately denies access. So Dignitas have brought down a lot of towers now, Graham.
Yeah.
They've found 2 tier 2s, both tier 1 in those lanes, of course. Now, the solo lane still pristine so far in the tower department, but Dignitas has clawed their way back into it, and that's really the only reason they're this close in the gold department. But that's not all great, because Rival has plenty of gold that's ready to take with this Fire Giant buff. They've still got 1 minute and 40 seconds on it, and if you add up this tier 1 and the tier 2 in left and mid, I think those are all pretty likely to fall in Rival's favor right now. That's going to be a lot of gold that'll boost Rival back up to that pretty solid lead.
But they will have to go and spend it, which means that Fire Giant buff will wear off, and then Dig have to set up around the Fire Giant on defense. Trix's the only one there at the wave in the tier 2 for the time being, but the whole of Dig want to defend with Nuwar. Yet again, Nuwar is great for clearing. That fog just does so much damage to the minions. There's no way for them to get anywhere near the tower.
Can't do anything to stop it either. It's eventually going to make it there, and she can throw it from a really, really far distance while staying safe.
But Deathwalker is going to dive into the back line, knock up Zyrhoes with the ultimate, taking quite a bit of brunt of damage here. As the ult hits onto Variety, he's going to have to lurk in the waters defensively. Tier 2 is down. The work has been done, and Trix could be a casualty. He will be. Falls down to Callus.
Variety is next. Deathwalker does fall to the damage from Arkkyl, but still not quite enough. Circle of Protection comes down to make sure that that little bit of damage mitigation comes through to help out Kalas.
Can we notice the player damage of Wlfy as well on this ISIS? This is a very much CC control-orientated mid laner they've picked here. He's not doing the damage, but he's doing enough CC to cause problems.
Oh, Kalas has problems for him, but vote Where did
died.
QvoFred go? I thought Camazotz was toast.
Well, Arkkyl could be toast in a second's time. He'll get a couple of snipes off. But it's trouble when he lands. Iceicebaby still waiting.
Oh, no, the crit!
My goodness, the crit at the right time. But we'll pick that one up. Zyrhoes surrounded, though. He falls. Can they end?
16 seconds on Variety, but with that right side tier 2 still up, the Titan just tanky enough.
Safe
If
and sorry.
if Wlfy has Circle of Protection, I
Yeah.
think Rival ends, but didn't have it available quite yet. But man, and honestly, that kill on iceicebaby ends up being really, really big. Zyrhoes times the minions done really, really well. And that final shot from Arkkyl plus gets a little lucky with the crit, though he has more crit in this build than he did in the last one, working towards a short sword now and will end up with that Deathbringer.
And look at Vote as well. I mean, he died for the first 2 kills in that duo lane, was left behind in terms of experience, ahead of Arkkyl now, but not only that, he hasn't died since. And been involved in 8 of the 9 kills Rival have had.
It's been really, really solid from Vote so far. Just good control over these team fights with that Sunbreaker ultimate. Has been hitting the right targets and CC chaining nicely with the rest of the squad. And Kalas is kind of relegating himself to this semi-damaging role on the Ares. Picked up a Gem of Isolation and then was able to just back. In the last back, he finished Sovereignty and bought an entire Voidstone. So that amount of damage increase is just preposterous from this Ares. I mean, that's 60 power from just his passive alone. Then you add in the power from Voidstone and the protection and health that he got from that and Sovereignty. I mean, he's far tankier, doing far more damage than he was the last time that he ran into Dig.
I'm not sure if it's the Nemesis that was the problem for Dignitas this game or the Chulainn. Deathwalker's
I think
playing
it was the
Chulainn.
Chulainn. I think it was the Chulainn because Variety has been so far. It's not even that Deathwalker has done everything so far for Rival. It's been a really good team effort.
He's helped to pressure.
But exactly, it's been keeping Variety away from being level 20. I mean, 25 minutes in and Variety still isn't level 20. He still isn't quite full build. And in the last game, Variety was so far ahead. Not so far ahead, but just even. And for Sobek, that may as well feel like he's so far ahead that he could be the initiator, miss his pluck, tail whip, lurking in the waters, be fine, reinitiate, hit the next pluck, and win the team fight for his team. Now, as soon as you miss that pluck, it's the combination of the pressure the Deathwalker exerted and the Nemesis that really makes it so the Variety can't do what he wants.
Final tier 2 tower of Dignitas will now fall. The Phoenix on the left-hand side is halfway to respawning. Minions are pushed out relatively well. You see the ping on the left-hand side? That was Rival saying, wait for these minions before we look. Unless we find a cheeky pick.
Variety hit by the chain after the Spirit Ball from Wlfy, but not a lot of damage onto that Sobek. Remember, he does have Blink this time around, so could be looking for a Blink pluck.
It's also the Blink pluck that you're talking about there from Variety. We mentioned it can be very good to set up Zyrhoes for a big burst of damage. But if he walks forward, he's having to play relatively far back this game, so worried about the Nemesis all in from the whole team.
And the Spirit Balls from Wlfy as well. It just gives him that little bit of extra room to play safe up against Rival's composition.
Very well-crafted composition from Rival here, just playing to where their strengths are. In the whole game, to be fair, on the right-hand side of the map from minute 1 is where they pressured, and they kept it that way, just leaving Vote to do Vote things on the left-hand side.
iceicebaby loses the Magi's Cloak, but immediately there's an Nemesis ult onto Variety, but he still had that dash up. He's fine.
Circle of Protection comes down too, just to prevent some of that, and heal them all back up. Run of Asclepius helps that out nicely.
Yeah, can we check Wlfy's player healing? I don't know if we'll have time actually with this
6,000.
going on, but 6,000 is really solid for a non-healer. That's pretty crazy.
With no Soul Gem.
No Soul Gem.
No Soul Gem this time round. Not a big fan of Wlfy's Soul Gem here. Blinking from Callous chains onto Variety to pin him down as the Spirit Ball hits too. Zyrhoes got fully focused by the dive by Deathwalker, while the CC from Variety was taken out of the equation.
Perfectly timed from Kalas, but Variety still able to escape despite that no escape. A little bit of a switch up there from the Ares ultimate, but right side Phoenix still really healthy here, Graham.
It is, and that's going to force Rival back to heal up with the Fire Giant just a little bit more. They don't have to fall all the way back just yet, but they're going to have to go one more time. Lot of relics used in that engagement. Sobek and Camazotz still have theirs available.
Yeah, so does Rama on Arkkyl and has the ultimate available. He's the real playmaker here
And they
for
can't
Dignitas.
get to him. That's the problem. Arkkyl's positioned himself very well for the most part, but if they can find a spot, they'll have to. They took out Zyrhoes. He's the most important one on the wave clear factor, but now that means Arkkyl has to take a step forward himself.
Rival's still willing to stick around here because that left side Phoenix stood, but that should be about a half of a fire wave left and a minion wave pushing in that might be able to take that Phoenix by itself.
In we go again. Circle protection down. The focus on the Phoenix majority of the time here. Whacking away at his vote MBK, trying to pick that one up, and will do so. Ricochet just off the mark, but while this is going on, Arkkyl just couldn't get away. Uses Aegis, speeds were going to help him. Spirit Ball max distance didn't connect from Wlfy. The damage has been done on this right-hand side. It's time to go mid or left.
And Zyrhoes just respawned and just died again. Didn't even get a chance to use the ultimate. I don't even think it was up on cooldown yet. So mid lane, that one will fall, and
They could go for the
Rival
end.
could go for it.
Right
here.
about now, the Titan's getting low, and the Titan could fall momentarily. 12-6 in this one. Unless some final kills come through, we're going to a game 3.
And what could you expect besides that from these two teams, the cream of the crop in Europe alongside Energy? I just love the composition that Rival was able to put together and the way they played it near perfection.
Yeah, it really worked out well for them. Even after the very start of the game, pressure didn't really work out what they wanted to with the little invade. Because I won't call it cheese, it's just a stylistic thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, of
get
course.
away from the word cheese. There's no reason for it.
I mean, I'm down to talk about cheese. I really like Munster. Munster's a really good cheese.
Who do you think was MVP that game? That's the biggest question I've got. Ignore him.
Boy, Munster cheese is really good.
Okay.
Are you just mad because I had some nacho cheese earlier?
He's discussing cheese for no reason.
I was actually queso. I was a little, I didn't want to disrespect it.
MVP for that game. Where's your money?
Deathwalker.
That's a tough
one. But Wlfy, look, pick whoever you want. You're going to be right no matter who you choose.
Let's head over to the desk so they can break down game 2.
Thanks a lot, boys. That set was very good, but watching Dignitas poke holes into the opposition like Swiss cheese was absolutely the highlight of my day.
You know, nothing smelled funky about that set for Rival. They even snuck a bunch of objectives against Dignitas after they took out Arkkyl into dueling. Instantly, no hesitation, going for the gold here. Then caught Dignitas sleeping around the Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there, really, that Rival was able to go ahead and snatch some of those objectives. They got the ISIS, they set everything up, but they just weren't as sharp as Dignitas' Cheddar was today. Fantastic stuff out of these guys. 2 games already. We were talking about the pluses and minuses. This is really where you're looking at, but Rival go ahead and wind up taking that, and there is your MVP. 4, 1, and 3 for DW.
He looked a little bit mild in game number 1, but nothing mild about his performance in the second one here. Yet again, against the variety Sobek here, but the difference was, more importantly, Callus playing the Ares, having a lot of lockdown potential, killing out not only Trixtank, but also variety occasionally. And more importantly, was the setup from Callus with the Gem of Isolation on the Ares yet again.
We've seen that a number of times, not just in the Pro League, but also down in the minor leagues and in the Smite Global Series. The Ares with the Gem of Isolation. Players are starting to understand things a little bit more, and now I think that's why we're seeing some of these longer sets.
Trying to find a bunch of these Phoenixes here. It was still a close game. Honestly, same can be said about the first game, where it ended 10-6 in the first one, 12-6 in the second, and this best of 3 set is now 1 game elimination.